Hello everybody, Jeff from GR Pottery Forms here at PSH, giving a little demo. I have a great option here of making a ramen bowl, round stack. These are the lower three sizes. It's a 5-inch, a 6.5 inch, and an 8-inch. And these will stack on top of each other to help you to make a bowl. And everybody's first kind of worry is that these are going to shift, but you really don't need to worry about that. It's going to create those lines no matter what. So just think about what your texture is going to be, how your piece is going to be to create a nice product. I am going to be using this wheel attachment system. This system comes with we call it a key, and the key comes with 2 pins. We are going to remove the pins because these OG original forms just have one single pin to be able to house these onto the wheel head, and this now will attach to the top of the wheel head. So all I'm going to do is let the wheel turn and give it a little bit of resistance. And the yellow tool you can see has this nice flex. You know, if you're into hockey, you know how the flex of your hockey stick is important. Same with pottery and a rib. You could add finger marks to your pieces. You can do all kinds of things to decorate your slab using this wheel attachment. I'm going to set this off to the side for a second. So now, this was the master part of the system. And the other thing to talk about is you have to have a wheel that has 10-inch bat pins. So it's a 10-inch from center of pin to center of pin. And what we can do is take this groove here, let it get to the edge of the pin, and then this rotates so it'll drop down in and be registered. So because can't see where those are, it helps us to find those pins. Now I'm going to set this, what we're calling a key, the WA2 key. And if you buy the WA2 system, you get this part, and the part we use to compress the slab. Now again, the forms that I'm using have single holes. We can now just put these on top. And I'm just going to put these as close to center as well. Sometimes too, that just so you know, like you can see just slightly that this one is just slightly smaller than the other one. So because we're cutting thousands of these parts, there's always just a small tolerance, unfortunately, of the difference. So there's a good chance that you may have to just deal with that small difference in the tolerance. So now what we can do is take our slab, so we can just kind of gently drape it over top. We start to get these fold marks. You don't want to make one quick motion and have it done. You want to kind of gently work it all the way around the form to kind of keep that clay as even as possible. So now it's pretty much there. You can see how it's creating this tension here. And that's really what we're trying to eliminate, is this stress that's happening. Do not add water, whatever you do. Put compression on the outside edge here. And I'm also going to put compression on this edge here because we're using one pin, this outside clay is really what's holding everything in place. And I can feel if it's shifted, it looks like it's shifted a little bit, because it should be a nice flat line going all the way around here, right? Push it into place. And kind of a gentle, even pressure will help us to kind of push those forms into center. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to pull clay up so it builds up this area right here. I'm just doing it by hand for a minute here. It's a great opportunity to add texture to the outside of your piece, kind of make your glazes more interesting, give you a different look. We can just eliminate that texture if we don't like it. We can have the wheel turn and make the texture go the other direction. So I'm going to first make a kind of squared lip, compress this outside with a rib called a saw tool. And it really is just a compass that we have a gauge on here to measure. So what I can do with this is I can put it up against the edge of my form. And now I can make this measurement of where I should put these dots on. Same here, and then here to here. And I'm just going to cut from one dot to the next. Nice kind of squared off edge. We definitely want to add a foot on there, and then we could put those spacers underneath there to kind of help give us a nice angle on that lip. This is like the typical way to do it, is I am just going to take my knife. Now I'm going to cut a strip of clay. So all I did was use the wheel turning to help me cut a really nice smooth edge. Now we can take this clay and we can put it on the top of this form here. I'm going to double it up. Now I'm going to add another piece here. As you probably saw through this whole process, I have not used any water or a sponge, and I've really tried to avoid it, but in this case I need a little bit of moisture for the clay to slide through my fingers. So once it's nice and centered in place, now I can spend a little time to kind of shape it or do what I want to do to make it kind of have the aesthetic that I want to go for. And one final thing to do is, once you kind of have it in place, or maybe you want to use it to shape it, but a modeling tool to kind of make sure that it's compressed, that the inside is kind of cleaned out. But there we go. We have this nice kind of ramen style bowl that with a nice little texture on the outside. You can push from underneath, which releases the clay from the system. Here we go.